one of the 5-day Healthy Body, Quiet Mind, Abundant Life, Beautiful Life Bootcamp, where I'm going to take you through some easy tips and tools in 20 or 30 minutes of your day. And so I invite you to put away any distractions and to just be here right now. And I just want to thank you for being here. Thank you for bringing your life, your beautiful concerns, your resources, and your attention to this moment. And I want to just ask you if you can hear me, and just give me a thumbs up or a yes in the comment section. And as you just sort of ground yourself into the earth, into the chair that you may be sitting on, just feeling your feet connect with the floor, perhaps the back of your chair supporting you. And I just invite you to take a minute right now to really get honest with yourself and feel into this question of what feels important to you right this minute, right now, to just be connected to your body, to get to the core of what feels safe or dangerous. Just feel that in your body and let me know. Let me know in the comments. I just wanted to see if I'm recording here. Hello, Tobacco. So just let me know in the comments. What do you need in this moment to feel here, to feel connected? Because, and I say this all the time, if we're going to heal, we have to be willing to feel it viscerally. It's our bodies that remember the trauma on a very cellular memory. It's literally embedded in our DNA, in our genetic code. And even though when we leave our physical bodies as a soul, we take all that memory from past lifetimes of trauma, whatever that pattern must look like. We've all been traumatized through relationship. And we are going to be able to heal through relationship, through right relationship. And we can't do that if we're not able to feel safe in our own bodies. So just settle into your soft animal body, beyond color, beyond shape or gender. And just stay with your body as you stay with me in this space. Think of it as a warm, loving nest where nothing is judged and everything is received just as it is, where we're going to really practice some ancient divine intelligence from our body's feedback to work with these imprints of trauma patterns from this lifetime and any other lifetime before that. And what better time to do this as we sort of set the tone, set the stage, claim your stake, make a commitment or recommit to yourself on this beautiful full moon eclipse in Gemini. North Node is gone into Gemini, my birth sign. So this is all about communication. Hi, Anjana. And as much as this may sound counterintuitive, today we're listening to the intercellular communication of our cells, right? Cell to cell, they're communicating all the time. And in order to hear that, just as in order to hear animals through nonverbal communications, think of your body as a soft-bodied animal. And in order to hear it in this birthing canal of great transition, of great transformation that we're going through, we need to pretty much shut up, to be quiet, to really listen deeply, and to not have to have the noise from the outside permeate and distract you or take you out of that space of very silent witnessing of internal quiet, to listen to yourselves. And just right now, as you tune in to your body, perhaps use the safety of the hug by putting one of your hands under your armpit, another hand on your shoulder, just giving yourself a good hug. We're all very touch starved, especially now at the moment. And if you're feeling brave enough, I invite you to just ask yourself, what will it take to truly stay awake at this time? I believe this virus, the protests, all of it is just the beginning of this great purging, this great awakening, this return to the heart to heal this great separation system, sickness. And I love that line by Aristotle. His moon was in Sagittarius, and this is where we are right now, is that to have a beginner's mind as we go forward. Yes, there's a lot that you may be pretending not to know that you know, but to just realize that the more you know, the more you realize you don't know. So would you be willing to not know or not need to know? Because all of that just comes from the very busy ego mind that thinks that if it could just understand what just happened here, or if it could just understand, and remember, understanding in the alchemy or the frequency and the spelling of the words means that in order for me to understand, to get what's going on with you, I'd have to stand underneath your erroneous debris of your past lifetimes and imprints and persecution systems and patterns of disharmony. And I couldn't possibly do that. I have no idea, even if I think I do, of what you've been through to get to this point. Nobody knows what it's taken you, just as nobody really knows how resilient I am to have endured and grown and evolved from so many triggers and so much pain, right, in the waking up that has perhaps reflected as an HSP, as an empath that you are, as heartache. Allow yourself to be heartbroken and feel it. Allow yourself to feel the rage, because we can't know what is happening, but we can know what it is that we need to do and be and receive and feel moment to moment. And for me, noticing the irritability in the tiredness, noticing the tiredness as a gift of, is this my body wanting to check out because it's too uncomfortable to go there? And there is some truth in that maybe for you as well. Or is your body needing deep restorative sleep to get the thinking mind out the way so that you can really be here now? Be here now. Because this is where I want to take you over the next 5 days. Yeah, surrendering to not knowing, Anjana. Beautiful. And we know that we can't just think and talk ourselves out of things, or hoping that things are going to be different, especially if we're feeling unsafe. And the whole purpose of this little 5-day offering, this little boot camp, is really about the body feeling it somatically, so that we're not just talking it, but we're showing radical responsibility in every action. Knowing that a lot of the time we are not in our right minds, and we are in the child parts, the fragmented parts of us that are still not feeling safe. And I think that's something that we need to just also be aware of as you move through this with me, to take what is true for you and to throw out the rest, because what is true for you and what is the truth are two totally different things. And I think that a lot of the very well-meaning self-help or life transformational methodologies not only spiritually bypass things, but in a lot of ways are re-wounding us, are creating more separation and division, and acts of violence against ourselves that are quite abusive, and not only to ourselves but to others too, because in order to self-shred, we have to find wrongness outside of us. So just remember, if you are feeling very raw or vulnerable and you're feeling the pain of this moment, perhaps you're getting triggered by the sound of my voice, perhaps something else is going on in your surroundings, just allow yourself to feel that. And be in, celebrate the fact, if a lot of you have been feeling dead inside, that you've been feeling numb for so long, and you're kind of starting to thaw out and it feels painful. Keep going, because that's really where the healing happens. And your body and my body, all our bodies, are really being poked with the hot poker, and that's where I want us to stay and to hold ourselves, because that's where we begin to change the status quo. And the first place we have to go is to acknowledge that you have been traumatized, that you have suffered many, many traumas through past life imprints of persecution, of historical trauma, of financial trauma, racism, of patriarchy, a lot of money trauma coming to the surface, misabuse of power, all those familial and ancestral imprints that you might have carried, all the parts that have perhaps fragmented away from you. I just invite you to put your hand on your heart right now and close your eyes. And just be in this stillness, quiet enough to hear the first timeline. So the age that you were, the first age that comes up, first number that comes up in your mind, that's begging for your attention, your love, your holding space of safety. And when you have that child, maybe you can see her, notice what she's wearing, notice how old she is. Where is she? Is she inside? Is she outside? Is she on her own, or is she with somebody else? What is your little child part that is crying for your love, for a sense of safety and belonging from you, the wise adult, the one who sees her perfect in every way, just as she is? And if you have a journal, or if you are willing, just write down in the comments, what does your child part need from you right now? What does she need? How can you soothe and anchor that small, innocent, wide-eyed, beautiful child part of you? How can you acknowledge her gifts and her capacities without her having to do anything, without her having to prove anything? What do you need to say to her in this moment? And if your mind is wandering, just know that it may have been a while since you have had a conversation with the child part that's been running your life from the future hurts, past hurts, that she cannot create a beautiful future because she's not even present, and she keeps taking you into the past. So just notice the internal protest, all the shoulds, the buts, the if onlys, the still points. And just keep coming home. Bring her home to your heart. Tell her she's okay. You've got her now. Nothing to do, just to rest in your arms. You're doing really, really well. And if you're finding this difficult, what do you need to just pivot or shift this 1 degree, just to tune your dial a little bit more so that you can hear what she needs to say to you, what she needs from you? Perhaps ask her, what do you need, little one? What do you need? What do you want, dear heart? Hi, Joe. Yeah, it is frightening. You know, vulnerability to the child who hasn't been seen or hasn't been heard or has never been told that she's enough just as she is. It may take her some time to be able to trust in you again, to hold her in that space. And if you're feeling a little bit of that anxiety come up, good. It means that you can feel it. And we want you to be able to feel so you can heal. So perhaps repeat after me. You may want to hold yourself again in the trust hold. Maybe rock yourself as you would a baby in your arms. And repeat after me. I am so sorry, little one. I'm so sorry I wasn't there for you when you needed me. But I'm here now. And I'm not leaving you again. I've got you. You're safe, little one. And I love you. I love you, little one. Just rest here now. Good. You're doing really, really well. And just allow that internal protest to be there. We're not asking it to change. Just to allow yourself to soothe the child parts that need you from the wise, loving, patient, present adult that you are, that perhaps you never had as a child. Just get curious. And if you're still feeling like you need to prove that you're lovable or worthy, that it's safe for you to ask for what you need, just ask your child part again, what do you need, little one, in order to feel held, to feel safe right now? I always love to look to the nature of all animals in the wild. They always have a safe container to return to, and I think that's an important thing to be aware of, or to remind yourself that so often we say we want peace, we want to feel safe, and we want to feel happy. And while we can, or we would prefer to stay in those places that feel light and expansive more than we're not wired to be high all the time. We're not wired to be on all the time. This is the pendulation of the nervous system, where we peak just as the breath comes up and peaks and falls, the crest and the fall, like a wave, where the wave knows that as unique as it is, in being the way it is part of the ocean, that it is held as part of the ocean, as part of nature, so are we. And that the safety of the container that you're creating for your little one is for her to go out and explore the world, to get curious, right? This is the energy of June. This is the potential of what comes after a full moon, on the new moon, is a chance to redo, remember, right? Reparent ourselves and take with us the wisdom and the learning of the times where you did not just survive, but came out better, stronger, wiser than you did going in. So remember that the safety of the container is always there. This is one of the things, if you've ever had children, we learn this as our growth partners and our children teach us, that we can't hold them back from having their own experience. That in itself is abusive. As much as we want to protect our children, the gift, the surrender to not knowing what is to become, or who they are to be, who they're going to become, just as our parents did to us. They did the best they did. They did the best with what they had at the time. But the greatest gift that we can give in any relationship, including those of the ones that we hold dearest and want to protect, like our children and our animal companions, is to let them go away and have their own experience. And when they fall, and when they're hurt, or when they're afraid, that they can trust that you will always be there, the rock, the space of safety, right? The safe container for them to return to. This was the value of sitting around a campfire, having eyes on us in our tribe, why it's so important that we collaborate, we commune, we come back to our hearts together, to let our nervous systems explore what the heck just happened, how our ancestors survived, and passed down their ancient wisdom on their cells to us, so that we could be here living a good life now. Had to do with talk story, right? The lessons and the wisdom passed down, what they did, what they didn't do, what they could have done better. So just remember that a safe container, or creating a space of safety in your body, is through the practice, it's through the tools, it is through the return to the heart of remembering you've got this. You, in the power of your choice, moment to moment, get to create your own safety. And that you always have a safe container, like this tribe, this closed Facebook group. You return to have eyes on you, to remember how strong you are, not to ask for a lighter load, but a stronger back. That's the deep sense of belonging and space that we want in all our relationships, regardless of what that looks like or how it's going to show up. It's the ability to trust in the divine intelligence, in the feedback from your body, that you've got this. So just pause and check in with yourself, with your impulse right now as you're listening to this. Do you want to fight? Do you want to run away? Or do you want to freeze? I know when things kind of feel like they're closing in, I need to get out in nature. I need the big spaces so that I can deliberately choose to reconnect to nature and see things in perspective. Sometimes a little distance. It's kind of like what horses do. You know, they're flight animals. So when the morphic field is in the air, that we need to run away from danger, they run for a few miles before they stop, get their breath back, and look back to see, am I safe? And our body's doing that like 40 trillion times a minute. It is scanning the environment all the time to see, am I safe? Am I safe? Am I safe? Is it dangerous? Am I safe? Where's the danger? We're looking for it all the time. And not only in our own experience, but from that deep ancestral, right? The existential fear that's been passed down on our genetic code, on our amygdala response, on our vagus tone, on our psoas muscle, right? There's a big connection between the vagus nerve and the psoas muscle. So remembering that the crazy hum, right? The movement is the way that we get to come back to this very beautiful surrender to the relational part of, in this moment, I'm cyclical, right? I am part of nature. I am in the feeding cycle. And even though there is a lot of uncertainty, the one thing I am sure of is that I am here now, embodied in this divinely sensitive, intelligent, ancient wisdom that I carry in my bodies, my heads, my countenances, my endeavors. This is where the animals and nature live. They have no control of the seasonal changes, of when there's drought, or when they will, whether they're going to find food or water. They don't spend time in their prefrontal planning. They're very much in tune with nature. They're following the natural urge of their bodies. This is why I say follow the natural impulse of your body. Go at your body's pace, not at the pace of the mind. That's where you start to build your capacity for trust, trusting that your body is your greatest consciousness facilitator, that it will always prove you right. So if you're saying, if you're beating up your body, if you're self-shredding, if you're saying, that your body's let you down, you're going to get more of that. So how can you build up this innate trust in your instincts that your body is always going to keep you safe, that your nervous system is not interested in creation, right? In the sexual chakra, it's very much rooted in to that first chakra. All it wants is to keep your organism out of harm's way, keep you alive. And until you practice, and I say practice because it's constantly ongoing, till you can really stay in your body and know that at any moment, if you're feeling unsafe, if you're feeling triggered, you have the tools and the capacity and the divine innate intelligence of your body, Deva's higher self, the wisdom of your already ascended self, to come back to the heart, to come back to your body through the breath, through touch, through the tools that I'm going to share with you. Very simple tools. First one you got today was to just be quiet, to push pause on the world, and to listen. Listen to the child part that is creating the internal protest that is stopping you from creating a beautiful future, an abundant future, right? The protest is the part that is afraid. And when you're afraid, there is no rational reason or thought or problem solving. So how can you trust in your instincts, your spidey senses, your intuition more? And how can you support your body to move toward more abundance, to plant the seeds that you're going to have a great harvest because you have put the work in? And to know that that underlying fear that drives us often back to the child running our show is that somehow, somewhere along the way, in this lifetime or another lifetime, you were told that you were not enough. So you learned very early on through the attachment styles that you created, right? The coping skills of protective and defensive methods, to put on masks, to never show your true nature. And then spend the rest of your life trying to prove others right, that you are worthy of love, convincing others that you're deserving of connection and of time and belonging, of having eyes on you, of being heard. And often when I support my clients in their businesses, this is where a lot of them have gotten tripped up, not through just ancestral imprints of money trauma, but also in that constantly trying to prove or defend why they're worthy of receiving or charging for their gifts in the world. We'll get into that more another time. I'm just being mindful of the time. So that is your homework for today, is to just type in the comments, share in the comments, where are you claiming your stake? Where are you holding your child parts with love, compassion? Where are you and who are you being as the wise, loving adult to your child parts? To be love in action by showing her or him that you are going to be there and you are going to give her what she needs right now. How can you do that for yourself? So claim your stake. You may want to go and place something on your altar. You may want to find a picture of your little one at the age that she was, perhaps, when she forgot that she was enough, just being herself, and put her on your altar. Light a candle for her today. And show up for her. Let her know that you're not leaving her. You're not leaving her. So that she can start to come back to you as the wise adult, and you can start to remember how to create your own safety, so that your whole nervous system can just start to relax into a natural intelligence where your body gets to lead and your mind is employed by your body to take you where you want to go.